Sonic Racing Crossworlds has promised to feature many updates post-launch with things such as more characters to play as. We know that there will be 23 characters when the game releases. I've discussed about the possibility of 5 more characters at launch in a previous discussion. If you haven't watched that already, I recommend you do. I'll leave a link in the description and it'll be in the card on the top right corner. But what I briefly mentioned in that was some possible DLC packs. DLC can either be singular characters or a pack of characters. So I figured I'd talk about what DLC packs we could see be a reality for Sonic Racing Crossworlds. A large percent of you are not subscribed to this YouTube channel. Why don't we fix this? So be sure to subscribe and turn on the bell to be notified for the next time I upload. And check out all my other videos. I do discussions, I do gaming, I do reactions, and I do animations. Subscribing is free after all, so why not? If you want to see me post more often, I have an account on Blue Sky, and if you want to help support the channel, all you have to do is pledge to my Patreon or become a YouTube member. All links will be linked in the description. We know from the Digital Deluxe release that there will be a pack of characters from the Sonic Prime animated series on Netflix and now on Nickelodeon. I suppose because Prime is the most recent animated series out, it's fine to include them. The amount of variants on Tails, Knuckles, Rouge, Amy, and Eggman we'll see are gonna be nuts. I wonder if they'll sport their voice actors from the show. They could just be a simple reskins of the original characters, but then again, in Shadow Generations for the Movie Pack DLC, they actually got Keanu Reeves to do the voice for Shadow. While the quality of the voice was a bit it does factor that they could still give us the voices of the characters in Sonic Prime for this DLC pack. So with that out of the way, now I would like to share packs I would like to see of characters and tracks. If you have your own ideas for packs of characters and or tracks for Crossworlds, feel free to share them in the comments. I'd love to get a discussion going. One of the potential DLC packs I've mentioned in my previous discussion was IDW comic characters. This can feature characters such as Tangle and Whisper I've talked about in my last discussion, but if they weren't added individually, they can go into this pack along with Surge, Starline, Linoleum, Kitsune? I don't know how to read. Rough and Tumble, Belle, and Jewel. All of them seem the most likely. The ones I really know much about are Tangle, Whisper, Surge, Starline, Rough and Tumble, and Jewel. I know a little bit about Belle, but the rest I don't know anything about because I haven't been reading the IDW comics lately since the Zomba arc ended. When I saw Kit's design, I just thought that was one of my online friends' Sonic OCs. Other characters at least made me think, yeah, that's an official Sonic character. Not to discredit Kit, but it has the feel of an OC. From what I've read of the comics, it's been great. I've heard some mixed things on recent issues, but that comes from how people feel about the writing. Despite all of that, I feel an IDW pack is very likely from the amount of times certain characters would be referenced in Sonic Frontiers, even making appearances in Sonic Dash and Sonic vs. Speed Battle as playable characters, and as playable characters in Sonic Speed Simulator on Roblox, so we got some good ground going for the IDW pack. The most obvious choice for a DLC pack is to do with the movies. This will include versions of Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and Shadow, maybe Amy and Mel Sonic if they want to continue updating the game by the time movie 4 comes out. They could do models for Tom, Maddie, Jim Carrey's Eggman, and Gerald, and Agent Stone, depending if they have the license to use their faces. But I think the similar looks would be accepted too. As for the voices, it's a give or take if they'll get the voices from the movies. Ben Schwartz's Sonic is possible since Ben has done previous voice acting roles in cartoons, and sometimes people voicing cartoons are typically used to voice in games. He has done a game being a tie-in to the DreamWorks movie Turbo for the character that he voiced in that film. As mentioned before, we had Keanu Reeves do the voice of Shadow in the Movie Pack DLC for Shadow Generations. Colleen is Tails already in the game, so that one's already taken care of. Idris Elba is another give or take, but he did work on the expansion for Cyberpunk 2077, which also had Keanu Reeves in it. If not, maybe they'll get Fred Tatasciore, who voiced Knuckles in Sonic Drone Home, the short for Sonic 2. Shadow, I guess, a Keanu sound-alike? Same goes for Tom, Maddie, Jim Carrey's Eggman and Gerald, Agent Stone. Agent Stone would be a give or take too, because his actor, Lee Majdu, is playing the main character in the latest Assassin's Creed game. So while not impossible for the movie actors to be included, it just depends if they can afford them. If not, I'll settle for replacement voices. I would love to see a track inspired by the location of Green Hills from the movie. Even have a small cameo of some of the people that live there, like Crazy Carl or Wade.
The flames of disaster!
Yeah, you get your joke. Can we really have a Sonic spin-off game without classic Sonic characters at this point? It's a given. You got your main ones, Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Amy, Robotnik, the Chaotix were in Knuckles' Chaotix. Would love to see their more classic looks translated to 3D, like we've seen with the others. Throw Fang in there since he was included in Sonic Superstars, same goes for Trip. Would be cool to drive the vehicle Fang has. Then we get some newer additions and some of them would have their 3D debuts, like Mighty and Ray. Bean and Bark would be cool since they were in Sonic the Fighters. Honey would be a Q inclusion as well since she was in the arcade version of Sonic the Fighters after all. Each of the characters can sport their own cars from Sonic Drift or Amy's car in Sonic R. For those that weren't in either of those games, well, something similar will do. For tracks, of course we've got the big classic ones, Green Hill, Starlight would be fun. A boat one for Labyrinth Zone, Chemical Plant, Mystic Cave, Death Egg, Angel Island, Sky Sanctuary, Ice Cap, Stardust Speedway. We got plenty to choose from. Then I was thinking legacy characters. What I mean by this is characters from the 2000s up until the 2010s. I'm including Sonic Adventure in spite of it being a 1998/1999 game. It's within the category, so it counts. Of course it would be cool to see Chaos, Dekal, Maria, Gerald, although those two would be a bit uncanny since, well, you know the rest. At the same time though, it would be cool to play as them. They probably won't be added due to the uncanny stuff about it, but it's the thought that counts. Of course, other 2000s characters that would be neat is Chip, that I mentioned in my last discussion. Even get Secret Rings and Black Knight versions of Tails, Knuckles, Amy, Shadow, Blaze, Silver, and Eggman. With the amount of callbacks to Secret Rings, it would be perfect. Throw Shower in there while we're at it. We'd like to see tracks based off of 2000s era locations, so from Heroes, Grand Metropolis, Shadow the Hedgehog, Sky Troops, 06, Soleana, more Secret Rings locations, some Black Knight. God, seeing Black Knight locations in Unreal Engine would be amazing. One idea for a pack I had in my last discussion was a villains pack. The Sonic series is rich in villains throughout the franchise. I've mentioned in that video about the rest of the Deadly Six since we currently only see Zavok and Zaz, so the other four members can go in here. We have a modern model of Nephilis thanks to Shadow Generations, would love to see him in the game. Black Doom, Infinite since we haven't seen him in Forces, his debut game. It's a spin-off game after all, so why not? Eraser Jin, like before. The amount of Secret Rings callbacks, it's a no-brainer. King Arthur, Melina, for shits and giggles, why not Dark Gaia? Metal Overlord? I don't see us getting any of those, but it would be funny to see. Probably something someone can mod into the game once it releases. Honestly, any of these will probably become mods for the PC release, with how quickly I've seen people mod characters or maps into certain games. The possibilities are endless. Last pack I'd like to talk about, and it's the most certain, especially with the confirmation we got the day of the reveal trailer, is the inclusion of Sega characters. We know there's Sega tracks in the game, and as for Sega games that we can go from, we've got quite the selection. We got Knights, Rystar, Jet Set Radio, could help promote the new upcoming game. I wonder when we'll hear more on it. Persona, Yakuza, Streets of Rage, Monkey Ball, Billy Hatcher, Alex Kidd, Skies of Arcadia. They did recently put out a trademark for something new on that series. Fantasy Star, Puyo Puyo, Space Channel 5. I would love new tracks based off of Knights, Monkey Ball, and Jet Set Radio. A Persona track would be neat too. At this point I'm just rambling about what packs we can get and what characters we can see. A slightly shorter video, but it's a topic I've wanted to talk about. Plus some people in the comments of my last discussion had some really good ideas for characters to include, so I just had to talk about some of them. Once again, if you have your own ideas for packs of characters and or tracks for Crossworlds, feel free to let me know in the comments. I would love to hear everyone's ideas. Just a quick shout out to my patron, Typhoon. Much appreciated. If you want to have your name at the end of the videos, all you have to do is either pledge to my Patreon or become a member of my YouTube. Links are in the video description. So with that said guys, thank you all for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Be sure to follow me on Blue Sky and all the other socials, which will be linked in the description down below. I will see you all in my next video. So until then, take care. Bye bye.